Hello, greetings. Alright, thank you for joining us. Yes, late night, 10:30 Eastern. Okay, where we're going to go into is, let's see. Space, what is it? I already forgot my subject. Oh yeah, disclosure. Oh yeah, U.S. leaving the UN, which I saw some of that yesterday, but I didn't quite click on what was really going on. Yeah, U.S. leaving the UN brings us closer to mostly alien disclosure. So there is an alien influence that Trump is connected to, becoming more obvious in some ways. Yeah. Now he might not be fully aware what, well, he is talking about a space force. So obviously there's handlers that are involved with this, and he's just the one that is letting it happen, you know. Now when he first got in, like, the alien agendas are kind of like, yeah, it might connect to it, it might not. It feels like he's becoming, well, what I'm getting is the forces here causing difficulties for us is obviously alien, or mostly it's human, through the elites and yada yada yada, but it is connected to aliens also, giving them power over humanity. And so what I felt is doing a lot of what JFK was going to do in some ways. I don't believe we were ready at that time, but JFK was part of the awakening process. Not to say Trump is whatever, morals, either way. What matters is us coming out of hypnosis. And so the alien agenda seems to really be increasing greatly. Us leaving the UN is one. I won't put any fear into that, because remember, that's how the dark forces operate. When him talking about secret space or space programs, obviously there's, well, do we have any real proof of it? I mean, there is a secret space program, but obviously it's secret, so they're not going to go around posting posters everywhere. But, you know, them talking about a space program is taking us to that unsecreting the secret space program, so it's better than not talking about it. So it feels like he's very protected in this. He's not going to mess with the Federal Reserve yet. I believe that is on the agenda. But right now we're going to more of an alien awareness. And you know, I've been going about it. The way I've been looking at it is like alien influence, little by little, you know, like little lights in the air, skies, and all that. But anything's possible. They're just going to just go do an event, maybe July 4th. We'll have to see. I doubt it'll be July 4th, but you never know. They might be just bold and go out and do it. You know, make themselves known here. And it might connect to the government. Who knows? It might not. They might just make themselves appear, and then eventually go to the government. Who knows at this point? Because with the president talking about a space program, it's better not talking about one. Leaving the UN is a good idea. Throwing Congress in the ocean would be better too. We never know. John McCain is basically going through a brain, you know, he's pretty much dead already anyway, so maybe the darkness, and who knows, maybe Obama will start getting sick and he starts showing his true colors instead of eating ice cream and looking cool, because there's a lot of darkness there that he likes to hide, like a playboy or whatever kind of nonsense that is. So much darkness there. So it's hard to say where we are heading. But as for alien, not invasion, but awareness seems to be, you know, we're getting hints of it, let's put it that way, that we've ever had before. So it does look like we're going to more of that direction, for the better. Of course, the manipulations and all that would be here. The reptilians don't want them to be seen. They don't want it to be seen here. So they're going to say, who, us? We're not here. No, you guys are crazy. So you don't, so them making an appearance isn't very likely. But so hopefully, I mean, they're not giving me any details at all for obvious reasons, but it does look like we're going to more of an alien awareness more than ever before. You know, like, you can channel your heart content, which is good, but also realize it feels like we're going to more of a physical connection down the road. That's what it feels like. I don't have a mark your calendars. I don't have anything like that. But one thing I did pick up on, I think I've already mentioned some of this in the past, but like humanity going into panic mode. But how long is that going to last? I mean, there's got to be somebody out there. I mean, you know, you're going to be I mean, how long are you going to cry? I mean, people are going to panic and cry in the streets and burn their houses down. And, always Americans will, because we love ourselves. Like when they lose or win a Super Bowl, they just burn their stuff down. They just burn their houses down. What the fuck? Why are we incarnated in this world again? The backwards planet. So yeah, it does feel like we're going to alien awareness. It feels like. I feel, yeah, it just, you know, because I'm kind of like baby stepping it a little bit, feeling like, oh yeah, they just put a light in the sky. But hell, who knows? Maybe they'll just, hopefully, they'll just show themselves here, and that would be good. So, they're not telling me anything. But we are going to more of, they're here. In a way that we're not going to see it coming. But in a way where we feel a healing energy from it. Of course, many are going to go through panic attack mode because, I mean, it's obvious that we're not by ourselves in a freaking universe. I mean, come on. So it does. Now this is another thing for the Trigger the Dark to lose. So the Dark are playing. They're having a blast. Well, I'm not sure about that anymore. The Dark, like reptilians and all that, whatever, whoever's here, you know, give you a laundry list. But they're not as powerful as they used to be. I also got to receive. We are like a child of Orion, you know, a constellation, Orion Council. They're not giving me a full detail of it, but bits and pieces that, you know, they didn't think we're going to. Basically, in the early times, of course, you get different versions of this. And in the early, like during Atlantis, they figured we can take care of ourselves, or they're watching us, and the Orions were watching us with us. But from what I'm gathering, they didn't realize the beings like reptilians and Anunnaki were capable of doing what they're doing. But also, I believe they weren't really. They were kind of surprised how we just kind of gave into it all. it's like, wow, this is new. You just kind of sell yourself out just like that, just like that. That's what I'm getting from it. Of course, there's different versions of it. I don't have 100%, but see how people are worshiping idols and stuff like that. So we already had that kind of. I'm not sure where the hell that comes from. And of course, Anunnaki take advantage of it, but I don't think that's through manipulation. That's just us. Well, it's not everybody, but it's a good part of the population, at least during that time. I mean, we had all these powers, all these abilities, but we had a lot of vulnerabilities. I mean, we did not grow up within to be able to handle all of it, so we got easily manipulated and then just fell right into their hands, basically. Of course, it took a while for that. So, you know, it's like the richest person in town don't always make the best decisions, something like that. And so think about everybody being rich with power. Some can handle it, some can use it for right, and others not so well. So of course, it's not entirely the population of the planet, but it was a good amount. It was enough. We wouldn't be in this situation. But also, it did bring in a new warning experience. So it's not exactly for the worst. Of course, this world is not the easiest one to survive, but it was something new. So the other beings that were not falling for the manipulations, obviously, said, you know, this is something new. We haven't, you know, sure, why not? And so, of course, it has lights and it's dark. I mean, it's not all positive, obviously. But it was a part of soul exploration that has not, I don't believe, has been seen before, at least at this extreme. So every being that is, negative or whatever it might be, very creative, pretty much beat us down to the ground as far as they can. So alien intervention, it feels like, if with the president leaving the UN, talking about the Space Force, and I don't think he's going to be stopped. I don't think he can be stopped. Thank goodness. So the aliens just appearing, it's like, okay, we feel like you're ready now. Here we are. That's huge. Is it going to go full into our culture? Is going to take time. And little by little, yeah, we'll just become. We're not going to get all the knowledge, obviously. They'll give us a detail of who they are, like the Pleiadians give us detail, and we'll just kind of figure out. We'll just, yeah, because what I got, they're not going to give us everything. Here's a little bit. Have a nice day. We'll be back, or we're not leaving, or whatever it might be they're going to do. Get rid of Taco Bell and McDonald's right away. No, they're not going to do that, but we got to figure that out. We got to fix ourselves. We got to fix it on our own. But they'll give us the knowledge of it. And then, of course, we'll argue about it and da-da-da-da-da. Because from what I feel, we're going to more of an alien nation. To me, saying that right now is like, what the fuck? But that's good, though. Better late than never, right? Well, it's going to happen eventually. So why not happen now? I wish it would happen right now, actually. That would probably be better. So, but learning how to channel definitely helps give you some clarity. Connecting to your guides, just helps you get some clarity. Because we're not out of the forest yet when they show up. Far from it. We're going into a new timeline altogether, unlike anything we've ever experienced before. And no, you're not going to win the lottery. It's like you're not going to go to heaven instantly unless you die. Yeah, I know some people say, "Oh, the event is coming. I'll see you on the other side." I cannot get over that. What are you talking? I mean, unless you plan on dying, right? When whatever. I mean, what is that? So yeah, I know. I don't think it's all going to be ants. It's not going to be peachy keen. It's not going to be any of that. It's it'll be a new way of looking at things. That's for damn sure. I mean, when they show up, it's going to be quite fascinating to see where this is all going to go. So, yes, I mean, I didn't realize we're leaving the UN. I didn't realize that when I heard that yesterday, I think. Yeah, there's stuff going on in Mexico, deep state. There's a lot of positive stuff in Mexico, but yeah, with earthquakes that happened last year, it shows that they're doing experiments. The dark is getting real. They see the future. That was another thing I received. I think I'm not sure. Well, of course, it's been a long day, but from what I've picked up, they see like 4 years into the future. I forgot 4 days. I think it's 4 years into the future. Something like that. But they see different scenarios. They don't see 100% either. It's something like that. You see timelines 4 years. I think it's 4 years in the future. 4 days doesn't do much. 4 years makes a little bit more sense. Something around those lines. But of course, nothing's 100%. But at least to give them a ballpark of what's happening. So yeah, I feel like we're going into more of. As for when they're coming, once again, if it's like the language is already kind of, the Space Force is obviously like right in our face. Obviously, some people are saying, "Oh, we have a secret space program. What about that?" Well, we're kind of heading in that direction to get to know that eventually. But with that language, it definitely shows we're going in the right direction. We're not going. I don't feel like we're going into war with anybody. If there's a skirmish, it won't, like Syria or Yemen's quiet as a bee. Jeez. I'm not sure what's going on with that fully, but I'm not sure if I want to know. Yeah, it's a sore spot there with the Saudis. I believe also a connection with China will improve. Of course, it doesn't always show that in the. And also the media of at least those that are kind of spinning it because of all this hate Trump and all that, it's all going to come back to him eventually. Not to say you have to like the guy, but it's obviously not perfect, but we're going to a whole new world. And even like with David Icke trying to find difficulties with all, I mean, we're going in a whole another direction. When they show up, well, it's still going to be a lot of confusion here. Nothing's going to be that clear when the aliens show up. That's what I mean. So it's not going to be on intellectual. Some of these are, you know, I saw that, you know, it's not going to be on intellectual energy. It's going to be on a spiritual connection. And how many are out there connected to that? Oh yeah, very small. So yeah, you can have an IQ of 1,000. That's not going to help you in this. That might just help you put you in a insane asylum instead. That's about it. So, but you never know. But yeah, this is basically to trust your instincts. Go by what you're getting. Obviously, they're not going to give us a firm date on all this. But will some people be activated? Possibly. We'll just have to wait and see. Possibly of you being activated to get more knowledge, yeah. But you might be turned off too. Like turned on, whoa, I got all this information, now I'm back off again. It's for a purpose. It just, because all the timelines are and everything, you know. Obviously, many here can be activated and go fly or go through portals and go through. We'll see. Well, when they get there, when we get here, we'll just have to see what happens. Pretty fascinating, though, I have to admit. So yeah, leaving it to UN, North Korea, Space Force. I mean, who saw North Korea? Nobody. I didn't see it. I didn't see that. I'm glad it's happening. So that's why, like with the alien disclosure thing, obviously got a message on it, and so I decided to go into it. So now here, you know, the blinking lights and all of that scenario. I guess you kind of have to you know, push that to the side and think they're going to make themselves known here. Well, we're getting in that direction somehow, somewhere, some way. I don't know. But definitely, it's nothing to worry about. Another thing, yeah, just visualize. Or how would you feel when they do appear? What would you pick up on that? Now, I was going to do that before this, and of course I forgot because it's getting late. Because I'm answering questions. Well, I say we're not ready yet. Maybe they're just talking about me, but say we're not ready yet, but the time has not come. A lot of timelines have to come together for them to be seen. So they're waiting on timeline progression. But it does not mean it's going to be a long time for that. It'll be, well, not this moment. Yeah, they're waiting for several timelines to, you know, so they can. They've been working on this for a very long time, obviously. Yeah, more than 30 years of it, obviously, probably more than that. You can say World War II is another sign of, like, with the wars, the end of all wars. You can say it like that. And we're going into more of a peacetime now. Not an easy one, of course. Still have situations, especially in domestic situations and all that, and immigration. We got a long ways to go. But as for the major wars, it feels like all of that is coming to an end. There might be skirmishes here and there. The dark isn't going to make it easy. Far from it. Now the reptilians, I just call it reptilians, but there's others. But the reptilians are basically the archons. They own the minds of many on this planet. So they're going to screw in them as long as they can, which is obviously the positive forces are fully aware of that. Yeah, so they see mental breakdowns and all that, and so all is in consideration. They see it all mapped out, obviously. So nothing's going to be perfect, but see all this stuff, you're going through every detail of how we're going to react to all this. So they're finding the perfect time. It's not going to be perfect, of course. People are going to overreact because that's what we do best. But there's, I don't know, they're just, it's going to be in a positive way from what I feel. They'll send positive energies out, but of course many are going to get very impatient for it, but I wouldn't be impatient. Just I figured this will happen in like 100 to 200 years. I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon. Jeez. Of course, it hasn't happened yet, but you never know. Looks like we're going into that paradigm. Yeah, we're just preparing for it. Look at the language that's out there. It's just what space, all this stuff, you know, the Space Force and all this stuff. So all the language is just building up. So just only when is when they appear. Let's see, July. I feel more August now, but July doesn't mean nothing will happen. We'll just have to see. Yeah, it's just yeah, they're not going to give us an indication of our surprise. But not every day is going to be like a fluid of information. But some kind of event is on it's in the works. So the dark is going to do everything they can to flip everything around using the media. The media is going to fall apart eventually. At least the dark part of it, at least. It's going to implode on its own sooner than later. But yeah, it's those that are part of that media too. I think they're going to get some karma for it. Could be wrong, but some of them do realize they've kind of like lied to themselves, and they might. I guess it's not worth going into, but it feels like it's like don't deal. Of course, if your soul is sold out, which many are, to money and a way of thinking, yeah. Because talking about disclosure is not the most popular thing. I don't think it is. In some ways it is. A lot of ways, not really. Not really. No, we're just a bunch of crazy people, basically. But it feels like we're really going into that vibration. It truly feels like, I just can't believe it. It's just, you know, I'm glad. But it feels like, alright, give me a second here. We're not ready right at this moment. But we are building up towards it. Yeah, once again, timelines have to be in the right direction. They will give us signs in the skies. They'll be quiet about it because they want to get too much attention too soon, you know, too early in it. They do show bursts of light, beginning to show like a circle of energies. It's a healing vibrations. Neat. You're going to see things there. It's like nature can't do that. Because they show like all these lights around in a circle going around and around. That's neat. It's like, yeah, you can think that's nature all you want. It ain't nature. So obviously they know what the hell they're doing. So yeah, so now they do show, let's see, reptilian council, like councils of light, obviously will show themselves eventually. Some of them might appear as human, for good reason. Now there is a movie called V where they take their face. That's not like that, but that's the joys of all this. But there are positive beings from a ride, obviously, that are people are gonna spin this around like crazy. Well, whatever. So that'll be pretty fascinating. So people that are afraid of all of this, remember, fear usually goes nowhere. Usually, 90% it does. So just basically just, as my boss is like that. He thinks he sees the future all the time. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Over and over. Why do you do that? So, it's like going nowhere with that. So, it does feel like we're going to more of a disclosure energy that is unlike anything, once again, we've ever experienced before. The UN, yeah, it does feel like Trump is being advised by like alien people or a positive vibration. I had to say it's all perfect, of course. There's a little bit of everybody there, but I feel like more of the positive forces are there than have been before. They're winning, and we're going to start seeing it soon. So what I saw in the skies is basically, it's like we're going to see things that there's no way. You know, like the Phoenix Lights, this is going to be a little bit more active. There's like just no way. It's like, oh yeah, solar flares are all kind of nonsense, whatever. No. So it's a build up for it's like a couple of days build up, build up, build up, and then there they are, something like that. So they don't want to do it too much in advance, because they kind of like a light show, but it's a little bit, yeah, it's just basically, it's them welcoming us into the Galactic Federation of Light also. The beginning stages of it. Of course, we've already already submitted it. We're not acting like we submitted anything, though. It's like, we're acting like a bunch of barbarians right now. But with them talking about anything about space, and it's showing that we're at least we're going in the direction of it, which is pretty great. Good to see that. All this isn't done for nothing. But yeah, they're just basically, once again, the main message is just not to panic. That's the main message. Apparently, I mean, imagine many out there already know that, but there are others that just like their mind just spins in all different directions. What I saw was with the Orions. Yeah, a lot of them are reptilian, but they will appear as human for our benefit. But they have a lot to say to us, because a lot of them did kind of give up on humanity in the past. There's a lot of them that did cause difficulties too in the past, but those are here. They're called run our government and run everything else. Yes, a lot of it is part of the Orion agendas, yeah, for the negative. Yeah. There's a lot of positive here too. With the positives coming through, of course, you can believe what you want to. But we'll find out when they make their appearance, though. So once again, there's nothing to be afraid of, but I am kind of getting like a picture of is time for us to fully see what's going on. You never know, reptilians might appear with the positive ones. You never know. As they start, I mean, once the humanoid ones show up, the others might disappear along after that. It's like, we want to be connected to you, and it's time. It'd be freaky. That'd be great. We're ready for it. I think we're ready for it. Of course, most aren't. Well, you know, how much of a population is going to be historical? I mean, how long can you act like that? I mean, I think Jerry Springer is still on, so I'll give him something to cry about. But eventually that'll die. They'll get over it eventually. So yeah, because I'm getting kind of like an energy of timelines of where it'll be all right. Yes, there's going to be people acting insane, but that's what they do best anyway. It gives them something that, yeah, it gives them something, reason to burn down their house or whatever it might be. It's terrible, isn't it? But it's true. Like when they win these sporting events here, they just burn everything. I don't know what they get excited and they beat the crap out of each other. That's a great way to celebrate. That just shows that we're just really prepared to connect to the universe, truly. It's great, isn't it? So I would expect stuff like that. Hopefully not. It's going to be a weird world, because yeah, I do feel also people here might get paranoid and think other humans are not who they say they are. That's an interesting. Yeah, it's like you connect to people in the stores and we don't know who's human, who's not. Yeah, that'd be, so there's that too. So yeah, it looks like we're going into that. But of course, when they appear, would really help and know where this ship is steering. But this is basically the warm-up towards it. It is very frustrating until they start doing it. You know, until they make the appearance is very frustrating. When they make their appearance, I think I'll feel a lot better actually. Talking about it before, it's like I'm pretty, you know, I'm confident they'll do it. You know, obviously, I'm confident they're going to do something. Let's put it that way. I do feel that. So, trust it. Yeah, trust, and yeah, it'll all work out. Well, but you know, the more we know, the more the ones that are causing us problems are going to be, yeah, it's going to be alien days of our lives. They can't control us anymore. So reptilians and whoever else is here, it's time for them to let go. So the more we become aware of it and actually see them, it's going to freak us all out. But it's for the better of us. It also feels like, yeah, the dimensions that they're in will become thinner. Always for the positive, for us to see them. Of course, I've mentioned that before. I just felt that now. In a positive way. Now the negative ones, we have to be really ready to see the negative ones, but eventually we will. But we got to get ourselves, we got to figure out what, you know, it's a process. It's fascinating as hell. So the stock market might take a dive, possibly, but I wouldn't worry. We just have to see what happens. I wouldn't put any worry into that though, because we're getting help. So not obviously not going to help with everything, but these beings that are causing difficulty for us are really playing overtime, and it's just, no, society really isn't going anywhere. Not really. I mean, is it really, you know, the movie of the week and that's about it? And that's crap. So, you know, it's for a reason. You know, no wars. Everything's kind of quiet. Not really. I mean, we're breaking away from the UN. We're not going to Iraq and causing any difficulties like in the past. Because war is usually what we're used to. And we don't see any of that. So we're in a kind of like a quiet time to go into awakening time, and then we can all lose our minds then. So yeah, like I feel it'd be a small percent that's really gonna lose their just, if someone just it gets their attention, they get on magazines, they get pictures, they might become a celebrity being crazy, who knows, get somebody to blame all their problems on now. Jeez. Oh man, when's that trip from Mars going to start up? I'm ready to get on that ship and leave right now, actually. Come on, start thinking about all this. It's like, jeez. So, yeah. What we have to look forward to. Yeah. Great. But yeah, it feels like, yeah, even those that are like bullies, that are, you know, the third dimensional bullies, they're probably going to show their true colors. I don't like, yeah. So it's not going to get fully easier, but yeah, it feels like it doesn't feel like we're kind of in a quiet time. It's like not much is going. I mean, the World Cup is going on. I mean, there's things going. The home immigration thing that's being blown out of proportion, most likely, and there's been a lot of dark in that in the past. This goes beyond probably Bush, probably beyond that. It's just. But not to say it's not important, but it does feel like we're going into the time of, we're tipping into disclosure energies more than anything. So from what it feels like, obviously can't give me too much detail, but love yourself, love your family, be careful what you ask for. Yeah, dreams will come true, basically, because dreams of people wanting this to happen. Well, you want it. Yeah, I don't realize there might be like, I mean, from what I got, it was the Palladians that are going to show up, but also, you know, there'd be Yael, be right around the corner, quietly. Yeah, eventually, all these everything else is going to open up more. I feel it's more Palladium, but who knows? Maybe everyone says Yael. I'm not getting that. I do feel their energies around, but I feel it's more Palladian. Because I'm not sure. Either way, they're all working together. So who really cares? If it's a reptilian shows up, yeah, I think that would be, well, that'd be great for some of us, but I'm not sure how far that will go. Or a big dragon. How about that? That would be. Jeez. But yeah, I believe him as humanoid as they can get it, close enough, and then you'll get like the humans that look like us, and then you'll get humans that don't look like us, and other versions of human, and it won't be able to deny it anymore. So people can call it the government, because people are going to freak out, like Alex Jones type of crowd. They're going to freak out, think it's all the government. I think they give the government way too much credit. They're not that smart. I don't think they are. I think they're kind of dumb. It's kind of obvious. They're not that smart. Not really. I mean, they're good at hiding the secret space program, but a lot of that's in a different dimension anyway. So they're good at that, sort of. But I think you're giving them way too much credit. It's darkness, but you know, darkness is kind of dumb. So, I mean, for us to believe in their hoaxes, you know. The FBI is definitely deep state, CIA is deep state, yada yada yada, NSA. All those things are going to eventually break down over time, but obviously the government is going to be involved with the disclosure in some shape or form. At least after the beings making their appearance, there's going to be a government, you know, connection there. But it feels like the government is preparing for something. So, because they don't have, you know, it's like when you make an appearance, we'll be there for you, or something like that. You know what I mean? I believe so. They're gonna appear on their own. Not gonna have like, hey, look, you know, because they don't have full control over, obviously. But a lot of alliances are making friends with each other in the dark. I don't know where they're sending all these dark beings. Send them to black holes. Send them to McDonald's in another universe. God help everyone there. But it does feel like we're going to more of disclosure energy. So anything's possible. Anything happens between now and then. Yeah, religions are going to spin it as like total darkness, unfortunately. Some will just give up on that, and hopefully they'll go into the worship energy, unfortunately. Oh well. Yeah, because some are going to worship being aliens and go back to that. It's like, jeez. I guess you can't. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect here, but they got to do something because we're not getting anywhere at this point. I mean, if we're gonna wait for disclosure at this point without them showing themselves, we gotta grow up on our own. That'd be like what, 2,000 years, maybe a million at this rate. So it feels like they're cutting through the timelines coming in. At least they're coming through our timelines to come to us. So obviously they've been doing this for a long time. But yeah, it feels like also some people will just get a message before it happens, maybe a couple of days before it happens, or a couple hours before it happens. It'll come very clear. It's like we're here or something like that. Maybe a little more clear than that. So that's fascinating. That's good. That's good to hear. We need all the help we can get. But if they're going to tell me that, it tells you they're not too far off. So yeah, they don't give me a whole lot of details. It's for good reason, but either way, they're coming, and not to worry, and just you know, we're going to definitely over time we'll start to connect to other worlds and other species. Like with their Orions, I saw it very clearly, a reptilian being on a ship. So we're with Orions. They look human though, but they're not. Some of them aren't. Some of them are reptilian, and eventually we'll figure it out. Either some will instantly pick up on it, and that'll be okay. There's no deception there. It's just so we don't panic, you know, because it feels like a lot of reptilians have a lot to say to us, and it's better to come from them than to go through somebody else. And so they're gonna, you know, that's what, for peace, and you know, it's just, sorry we let you down in the past. It feels like there's going to be something like that. Yeah, because jeez. They might give us more details, possibly, of our Atlantis history. We'll have to see. So, I don't know. I don't think they're going to give us that much of information, but down the road we'll get more details of how we got here. You know, how lucky we are to, yeah, because what I felt, at least, you know, earlier, you know, what I felt is we're going back into the ancient times where humans and aliens are connecting to each other, basically. But of course, we're going about it in a different way, in a way where we can upgrade ourselves, and it's going to be a different way of looking at the world. That's for sure. For the better. Well, for those that are ready for this, others, that's a different story, because they want to play on the stock market. Dude, anyone that's like obsessed with money is not going to enjoy any of this, because they're not going to make money off of this. They're going to watch all that stuff go away eventually. So expect a lot of them get super depressed and go self-destruct, because it's like all they care about is materialism and money and fame and all this nonsense. So that's not, you know, yeah. So that's a good portion of society. Well, not huge, but still a big, it's money influence. So those that are poor and never have money will probably have no problem connecting to all of this because like we don't have anything else. Shit. So those that are always have money working out for them and they're just super obsessed over it. There's still a pretty good amount of that. So doesn't need to make money off. It can't make money off of this. And so, but I do see a possibility of the stock market crashing, but I won't put any worry into that. It's just it doesn't mean it's going to be the end of the world. Let's put it that way. So, because these beings, yeah, they're being a pain in the ass with us right now. They're going to do whatever they can to cause panic. So, once again, the word of all of this is not to panic. That's a big deal. Yeah, because they're going to mess with who they can mess with. And I imagine you can pick up on how easy that is. Those that are already in fear and paranoid, that don't believe in any of this, are going to get fear and paranoid when all this starts showing up. So they're going to call us crazy, and they're going to act like they're the crazy ones, basically. And the rest of us will be calm. Well, sort of. It's like, gosh. So you can probably visualize it. But that's what we're here for. We're here for calming the waters as humanity kind of falls apart. So I think the economy is still going to stay alive. It's not going to go away anytime soon. Not until we're ready to throw it out altogether. So yeah, it's kind of a short message, kind of repetitive. Yeah, it was repetitive. Well, I'm kind of digging through what they're giving me. They're not giving me a whole lot of the UN, obviously, is under cabal control. Reptilians mostly, Illuminati. The dark Illuminati is losing, and it will continue to lose. So, of course, not easy to see that now, but down the road, it will become more clear. So, they're just, a lot of them, I believe also, within the dark cabal, a lot of them are afraid to go positive, or, whatever you want to call it. They're afraid to be for humanity, because what will happen to them. And so, I believe a lot of them are getting help there, where they can be of the neutral or positive, wherever you want to look at it. And so anyway, that seems like what's going on there within the elites, at least. I'm talking about the super way up there, not the Rockefellers, Rothschild. That's all just same old crap. So yeah, that's a bunch of, so yeah, this, you never know. Some of them maybe, probably some of them are not total sellouts. But yeah, they should listen to this this book right here, because a lot of people are going to become more activated and just know more, and some people might use it for the wrong, possibly, but that's alright. That's, it's a learning process. Because we're going to be some over time. When they do appear, we'll just get more knowledge here and there. I don't want to promise anything, but this scenario looks like that's going to happen. But a lot of the blockages here have to be released. When the blockage is released, basically. So, yeah. Alright, well, that's all we got. Blessings, everyone. Yeah, the wait continues, but you never know. We get more details over time. It's hard to say. Alright. Wish everyone blessings. Have a good night.